Hello, my beautiful Scorpio soul. I'm Selena Hart, and today I want to speak directly to the part of you that feels more than it can explain. The part of you that has always known, quietly, instinctively, that not every bond you form in this lifetime is new. Some connections don't begin here. They return, they resurface at precisely the right moment, not to confuse you, but to awaken something that has long been waiting beneath the surface. You may already feel it, or perhaps it's just beginning to stir. There is someone in your energy field, now or very near, who doesn't feel like a stranger, even if you've only just met. There's something about them that tugs at your memory, your intuition, your emotional center. They make your breath slow, your thoughts pause, and your soul, without needing words, remembers. This isn't wishful thinking. It's not an illusion. This is what we call a karmic connection, a soul level bond that stretches across lifetimes, a connection that cannot be explained through logic or time frames because it wasn't formed in this timeline. It was forged in the space between lives, in other bodies, in other stories, under other skies. And now it has returned, not randomly, but deliberately, not to entertain, but to evolve you. Scorpio, your sign understands depth like no other. You don't shy away from intensity. You transform through it. And this connection, when it enters your life, will demand that same bravery. It won't allow you to stay in the shallow end of your emotional world. It will ask you to remember, to feel, to surrender, to let go of control and trust what is ancient, what is intuitive, what your soul already knows, but your mind hasn't yet fully caught up to. This is where we begin. Together, we'll explore what this karmic connection is here to reveal, how to recognize its deeper purpose, and how to move through it with wisdom, integrity, and fierce inner clarity. Because Scorpio, what's approaching isn't just another relationship. It's a moment of soul recognition, a moment your spirit has been preparing for long before this life even began. The karmic connection isn't here to make your life easier. It's here to make it real. It doesn't arrive to smooth the surface, but to stir the depths. When you meet this person again in this lifetime, something subtle but profound begins to shift. The conversations may seem ordinary, the circumstances may not be ideal, but underneath it all is a sense that you've been here before. Not in a nostalgic way, but in a cellular, undeniable knowing. This is not someone you're meeting for the first time. This is someone your soul already recognizes. The timing of this return is not random. It aligns with a specific moment in your emotional evolution, when you've grown enough to choose differently, to love without losing yourself, to stay present even when it would be easier to run. That's the difference this time. You are not who you once were. You no longer seek connection to fill a void, but to grow through it. You don't need saving, and neither do they. What you need, what you both crave, is truth. A space to be fully seen, fully felt, and finally understood beyond the words and the wounds. This kind of bond doesn't start with fireworks. It starts with a pause, a glance, a strange sense of coming home to something you didn't know you left behind. It challenges you in ways that don't always feel romantic. It may trigger old patterns. It may ask you to let go of outdated versions of love that were built on need, fear, or fantasy. But in that discomfort lies the medicine. This person isn't here to complete you. They are here to meet you exactly where you are and to walk with you into what's next. And Scorpio, what's next is not a repetition of old stories. It's a reclamation of your power to choose love with clarity, to show up with your whole self, to remember that love, true, karmic, enduring love is not about escaping pain. It's about facing it together and allowing the connection to become a bridge, not to who you were, but to who you are now finally becoming. The signs don't come through logic. They come through energy, through the way your body reacts before your mind can name what's happening. You cross paths with them in a moment that seems random on the outside, but internally something shifts. There's a flicker of recognition you can't quite explain, like opening a book at the exact page where you left off. Even though you've never held that book before, you find yourself drawn to them without effort, without strategy. It's not a craving, not an obsession. It's a quiet gravity, a sense that your life was supposed to meet theirs here. You might finish each other's thoughts or sit in silence and feel understood. You might feel emotionally raw around them, not because they hurt you, but because they see you. And being seen like that can feel disarming when you've spent so long protecting what's most tender inside you. This person doesn't flatter you. They don't mirror back only the parts of you that are polished and powerful. Instead, they hold space for all of it. Your complexity, your intensity, your contradictions. They invite you deeper into your own truth, not by force, but by presence. And in their presence, you begin to remember who you are underneath the armor. You begin to access parts of yourself that were never gone, just buried under survival, silence, or shame. It's not that they complete you. It's that they unlock something that was already yours. Not a fairy tale, not a fantasy, a threshold, a mirror, a chance to become more intimate with your own soul than ever before. And that is the real power of karmic connection. Not what it gives you, but what it awakens inside you. Karmic connections are never only personal. They arrive with purpose. One that transcends romantic desire or emotional comfort. When two souls reunite under such a contract, it's because something larger is ready to be completed, expressed, or healed through their union. It's not always clear at first. The mission may be buried beneath layers of emotion, timing, or circumstance. But with time and with presence, it begins to reveal itself. Sometimes the purpose is quiet but profound, to break a pattern that's existed in your ancestral line for generations, to unlearn a way of loving that was built on control, fear, or abandonment. Other times it's outward facing, to create something together that serves others, a body of work, a family, a message, a movement. But always, always, it's transformative, not just for the two of you, but for the energy field around you. Scorpio, your role in this kind of union is never passive. You are the deep diver, the emotional alchemist. You carry the capacity to feel and transmute what others avoid. And when this soul returns to you, you may feel that your inner world begins to shift, old grief rising, old truths surfacing, not to hurt you, but to prepare you. Because you are not just coming together to love, you are coming together to evolve. This person may challenge how you've defined partnership. They may disrupt your ideas of safety, control, or emotional logic, but their presence pulls you toward a deeper layer of truth, one where vulnerability is no longer weakness, but sacred power. One where healing is no longer solitary, but shared. One where love becomes less about possession and more about co-creation. The two of you may feel like opposites on the surface, but underneath, your energies braid together with precision. Where you carry emotional depth, they may carry light. Where you carry intensity, they bring breath. Where you bring truth, they bring timing. And it's in the weaving of these forces, not in their similarity, that the soul work takes shape. So when you feel it rising, when you sense that what's unfolding is more than just attraction, more than just timing, pause, listen, honor it. Because your coming together is not an accident. It is part of a larger orchestration, one written not in calendars, but in soul codes. One that asks, not for perfection, but for presence, not for certainty, but for courage. And if you're willing to say yes, not to the fantasy, but to the truth, then what you will create together will not end with this life. It will ripple forward into everything your souls will ever touch again. When a karmic connection touches your life, it doesn't always stay forever, but it never leaves you unchanged. It reaches into the deepest corners of who you are and brings light to places that have never been fully seen. Not all of it is comfortable. In fact, some of it may feel like disruption, like unraveling, but beneath the intensity lies something sacred, the remembering of your true self. This connection will likely pull you into emotional depths you haven't visited in a long time, or perhaps ever. Old wounds may surface, not because they're reopening, but because they're ready to be released. You may feel more vulnerable, more exposed, more reactive. But these reactions are not regressions. They are responses from parts of you that are waking up, parts that have long been guarded, frozen, or forgotten. You might find yourself questioning everything, your boundaries, your patterns, your idea of love, even your spiritual path. And that's not a breakdown, it's a spiritual clearing. This kind of soul bond doesn't let you keep pretending. It asks you to drop the masks, to dissolve the armor, to get honest, not just with the other person, but with yourself. For Scorpio, who is no stranger to transformation, this may feel strangely familiar. You've walked through endings before, you've survived emotional earthquakes, but this is different. Because this isn't destruction for the sake of pain, it's alchemy. The breaking down is purposeful. It's preparing you for a deeper alignment with who you truly are. And even if this person doesn't stay, or if the connection evolves in ways you didn't expect, what it leaves behind is permanent. A wider heart, a clearer truth, a stronger sense of self. You'll begin to love from a place that isn't rooted in fear or possession, but in presence and reverence. You'll be less interested in who stays and more devoted to who sees. Less focused on being chosen and more attuned to what your soul truly chooses in return. This is the secret most people don't understand about karmic love. Its purpose is not to guarantee forever, it's to activate you. And once you've been activated, once the veil has been lifted, once your soul has been witnessed at that level, you can't go back to pretending. You can't unfeel what was awakened. You can't unknow what has been revealed. That is the true gift of this bond, not the permanence, not the story, but the way it reshapes you. Scorpio, if you take only one truth from this journey, let it be this. The soul never forgets what the mind cannot explain. And when a karmic connection finds its way back to you, it isn't to distract or confuse. It's to illuminate. It's to remind you that love has always been more than emotion. It's been an agreement, a path, a remembering. You came into this life with a sacred task to uncover what's hidden, to feel what others fear, to bring light into the depths. And this person, this mirror, did not come to rescue you or define you. They came to awaken what was already buried inside, your truth, your power, your capacity to love without losing yourself, even if the connection is silent now, even if it passed through your life like a storm, brief and intense. Even if there are no words, no closure, no resolution, the impact remains. What you became in their presence, what was stirred, what was broken open and softened and seen, that matters. That is soul work. That is evolution. And if you're still in it, still navigating, still questioning, still feeling everything all at once, trust that this is exactly where you're meant to be. Karmic love doesn't follow a clean path. It doesn't care about timelines or labels. It moves according to readiness. It speaks the language of transformation. And Scorpio, you understand that better than most. So let it change you. Let it make you more honest. Let it make you more alive. Let it teach you to hold love, not with grasping hands, but with open palms, because true karmic love doesn't bind. It frees. It doesn't demand, it invites. And when you choose to walk with it, even for a season, you step into the deepest form of power there is, love without control. Love as surrender. Love as evolution. You don't need to know how the story ends. You only need to honor how deeply it's moved you. Because that movement, that awakening, that shift is the whole point. And when you meet them again, whether in this life or the next, you will know, not because you remembered their name, but because you remembered your own soul through them. That, Scorpio, is a love that no lifetime can contain. And so, my beautiful Scorpio soul, if something inside you stirred while listening, if a name came to mind, if a feeling rose from a place you hadn't touched in years, don't rush to define it. Don't try to fix it, explain it, or even hold on to it. Just witness it. That awareness alone is sacred. That sensation is your soul remembering. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need a perfect plan. What you need now is presence, stillness, the courage to feel what's real without judgment. Because this moment of recognition is already a turning point. A thread has been pulled, and from here, your story will never be quite the same. Whether this person is still beside you, far away, or yet to arrive. Trust the timing, trust your own readiness, and most of all, trust that your soul will always recognize what belongs to it. Thank you for allowing me to walk beside you through this sacred remembering. If you feel called, leave me a comment and tell me what your soul knows, even if your words are simple or few. And if you haven't already, subscribe. There's more to come, more to uncover, more to feel. Until then, I'm Selena, and I'll be right here across time, across lifetimes, whenever your spirit is ready to meet me again.